click that next button. Don't even think about clicking on a different podcast, because that is Effin Weird is here to bring you a wealth of knowledge today.
Welcome back to That Is Effin Weird. We have a lot of topics that we're going to cover today, but I am not alone. I am Stevenson Longbotom, and my guest today, she's the author of Space School Lessons, which focuses on the galaxy and how it operates. She also has a YouTube channel called Starseed Netlink, which again covers Starseed, UFOs, and spirituality, and has spoken at the 2024 Disclosure Now conference. Please welcome Audrey. Audrey, thank you for coming onto the show and wanting to talk to us today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. My name is Audrey. I started my YouTube channel about close to 4 years ago. It was a beginner's channel to just teach people about basic topics that involve UFO spirituality. And the reason why I started creating it was because a lot of people in the community, especially people who have never heard about this, kind of get caught up, and people who've been in the community for a really, really long time, and there's no starting point for them. So that's the reason why I created it, as like a starting point and as like a place where people can branch off to other YouTubers that have more information. Over time, it started turning into like a research channel. So I researched topics that other starseeds or other spiritualists don't talk about on my channel. So it's kind of fun to like talk about and get people engaging. It's all about trying to promote critical thinking and get people talking about topics and stuff.
That's really cool that like you promote that critical thinking piece and getting people to do their own little research.
Most of everything that I talk about on my YouTube channel is based on personal experience, and I've been in the spiritual Starseed community for like 10 plus years. So I've been in the background watching people's stories, hearing everything. And around COVID, or towards the end of COVID, or I guess you could call it, my visitors were basically pushing me towards doing this because they've been noticing that a lot of starseeds or a lot of other people in the spiritual community don't ask or don't answer the fundamental questions. They like glaze over it. And that's something that they're hoping that I can achieve, where I don't gloss over or don't, I guess you want to say, dance around the topic or dance around the question, but actually give like actual answers on the reason why. And a lot of people don't like it. And that's obvious because it's like, this is what they tell me, this is what they taught me. Mm-hmm. And we understand that you guys don't like it, but they're bound by rules and we are bound by rules as well.
Okay, real quick, can you explain what a starseed is? Because I don't know if I fully understand that terminology and what it actually means as well. I think I have an inkling, but I don't know if it is 100% accurate.
So this is coming from my personal experience and from my terminology, and other people have other definition, but my definition of a starseed is a being that has become incredibly aware to the point where they can remember aspects of themselves, like from other planets. They have activated their spiritual abilities. They might have advanced knowledge and they don't know where it's coming from. A lot of starseeds have a lot of visitation, like one-on-one, face-to-face contact. It is mostly of them trying to bring higher awareness or higher consciousness to the planet and get people thinking that there's more to life than what is currently here.
So how did you figure out, or how did you know that you were a starseed?
I have had a physical 3D real face-to-face contact with a gray alien in my bedroom when I was 16.
Oh shit, okay. And I guess, do you mind describing that, or like how that happened? I mean, because do they still talk to you or like interact with you?
They still talk to me once in a while, but you have to use a lot of disturbance stills as well with them. So essentially is during my teenage years, and this gets into my SSP story a little bit, but I was basically in the SSP. I was rescued from there. And then I was also going through a major depression cycle, really, really bad depression cycle. And so they basically showed up, do a little wellness check. And it was also around the same time where I was battling myself and the fundamental concept of religion when I was 16. So I was either thinking, do I continue following the path of religion or do I want to branch completely away from it?
Yeah.
And the moment when I woke up or had this sense of being woken up, and I was like, everything that I have experienced up to that point was real. Everything that I was thinking and having questions about, I wouldn't get it the normal way, so I had to find a different way to find my answers. So around the age of 16, after having that encounter, I basically completely left religion. Haven't gone back. I tried to avoid the question of religion altogether, to be honest, because being in this community for like 10 plus years, you start to realize that religion is basically mind control and blocks critical thinking skills with people. And with that fundamental understanding, it made me become more self-aware about what is actually going on around the planet instead of being caught up with the, I guess, conspiracy theories and stuff. And on my channel, I mostly try to keep it away from like religion and politics, is because that's not what my channel is here for. My channel is here to ask questions that people have about UFO that other people are not asking or answering.
And I know you literally just said that you try to stay away from the whole religious aspect of it, but I feel like I've seen a lot of, especially like on the Ancient Aliens TV show, where they try to connect some aspects of religion to UFOs. For you, do they somehow intertwine, or can there be like a misconception, or are the two completely separate and you don't mix the two?
So the best way that I can answer is from an episode from Orville, where their co-captain went down to a planet and she ended up accidentally becoming a religion on that planet. That's exactly what happened in the past, where we had visitors that would come and survey and try to help us as a species, and we'd basically turn them into a religion.
So is that not, I don't know if you know the answer to this question or not, did aliens or did any sort of species have any sort of influence on us as a species, like growing up? Did they put us here on Earth? Like, did they have anything like that to drive that? That's exactly why we feel that way.
Well, I guess mostly down to this story. We are a bioengineered race. There's no way to put it, but people like, oh, that's so negative, that's so bad. And I was like, yes, but that happened like close to 1.5 million years ago.
Interesting. Like
the collapse of Atlantis and everything that everybody's talking about in this community, like they don't realize that happened like close to like 1.3 to 1.5 million years ago. So yes, the Anunnaki did come in and alter our DNA. There has been a lot of galactic war, a lot of galactic stuff about us trying to get out of, being a slave, being stuff, and people get angry at me because I don't follow this narrative of like, they're bad, they're evil, like we're being controlled by them, we're being manipulated. And I was like, this is the reason why I'm talking about galactic politics, is because ETs are not allowed to interfere with anything to do with the politics. That's the reason why they only deal with it in the SSP, and it trickles down into Earth. They can give advice to our government officials, they can give us advice or technology to advance, but it has to be extremely regulated.
So can you kind of talk a little bit about that as far as galactic politics? What is that and what does that actually mean?
Galactic politics is the laws and boundaries of which advanced civilizations can interact with a developing civilization. So, like, for an example, it protects Earth or the developing civilization to be taken advantage of or taken over by a more evolved species.
So I guess, is there like a certain point in which I guess at what point do we evolve where we can like partake in this galactic politics, or are we already partaking in it? It's just we, as like the majority of people, don't really realize it.
So, with my work that I've been doing, we are categorized as a hostile level 3 planet. We're extremely violent towards each other, and we're extremely violent towards the entire planet that we live on. The only way for us to become a galactic citizen is to basically move out of that level and into docile state. And the way that I see it is, until we get to this point in our civilization where we have no crime, like, a lot of people are like, can you actually think about living in a society where we have no more crime, where we're just peaceful and exploring our existence as a civilization? That is when they will do first contact, when we become that way, but also unified as a species. Because people need to understand that when these ET races come to us or visit us in their spaceships, they have a one world government structure. They're not fractioned off like we are, where we have multiple different countries with multiple different government structures. They have one world government structure, and they have learned to grow past a lot of their economic and civilization struggles. So they're at least trying to figure out how the best way that they can help us with our development without interfering with our politics or religion, because they already added too much religion on this planet already. So they can only help from a distance.
So, okay, are the galactic politics and is like this galactic community only reserved for like a higher level of thinking creatures? Because let's just take the sloth, for example. That is a creature that is not hostile at all. It just hangs around all day. I think it just eats fruit and leaves and everything like that. So is that something where, and I'm not trying to make a joke or anything like that, but is like, I understand like humans have like a higher development, like they can actually think, reason, and everything like that.
I explained this all in my book. So they have this thing called assessment period, or a period where they will view or test a civilization. So Earth has already gone through this already several times. So they believe that we are the most advanced intelligence on the planet so far. But when it comes to other areas like organization and working together, we kind of fell flat on that. They deemed, at least from talking to some ET races, the most organized or well put together civilization would probably be ants and bees on Earth. They know how to organize, they know how to get jobs done without arguing. They know how to problem solve better than us without arguing with each other. So with that understanding, with humans, even though that we are advanced, like, we can make tools. We have evolved past the basics of foraging for food and just mating. We're building houses. We're building our tools. We're flying across the air in the technology that we have created. So yes, we even figured out that we're not the center of the universe. We figured out that our planet revolves around the sun. We figured out that our planet is round. And so that makes us a little bit more advanced. We figured out math better than any other, I guess, other species or animal species on this planet.
I want to go back to, real quick, the ants and the bees. You had said earlier that we're labeled as like a hostile creature. Are ants and bees not also labeled that as well? Because if you look at, okay, when a hornet comes into a bee's nest, it's not like they try to reason with the hornet. They immediately start attacking it and trying to get rid of it.
Yeah, but they have a very, very basic fundamental components, if that makes sense. They care about food, territory and mating. That's the only thing that they worry about. With us, we're worried about the same things, but we're worried about how do we make our society better. We're learning about how to create better medicines in order to help people. We're trying to survive past survival instincts to live in a peaceful society where we're not constantly foraging for food, but learning to work together as a community.
So, okay, so my follow-up question to that then is, if an intelligent species, or, you know, whatever, whoever gets to say that, yep, humans can move into the galactic politics, like, you know, they can be a part of us, whatever, can they not see and understand that it's a very small minority and group of people that are at each other's necks, and for like the majority of human beings don't act that way and are not like that? The thing about humans, I feel like, is like everyone is different in their own way. Not one human. You can't lump us all together in one category.
It's the same thing that we do with ETs. The question that you're asking is the exact same way that our society is doing with ETs.
How so?
Well, like, for an example, when you get down into Starseed lore, we think that the Draconians are all evil, like all reptilians are evil. Like with David Icke and everything, where they say that all reptilians are like evil and want to control us. Well, that's not true. It's the same thing that we do to ETs.
I guess I'm like completely unaware of like the different species of like alien races and everything like that. Do you know of like a couple, or can you explain some of them?
So we'll start with the big three. In Starseed lore, there's the Palladians, or also known as the Nordics, or the Anunnaki. We have the Greys and we have the Reptilians, which is the most dominant, or the three that come and visit us the most. Everybody knows that the Reptilians are bad. A lot of people also believe that the Greys are bad and trying to have their own agenda, which pretty much I get it, but they're just basically been sent in to do a job and get out. They're solely scientists and they're just here to study us. It's no different than us going into the jungle or the ocean and tagging fish, looking at them scientifically and putting them back. That's basically what the Greys have been doing for the past 75 years.
Okay.
Then you have the Reptilians, and yes, there's a lot of fundamental issues with the Reptilians, but not all reptilian species are negative. Like a lot of the stuff that is in our religion were from reptilian races that used to coexist with our ancestors 1.3 million years ago that have been passed down. Like the reason why Earth is the way it is because we're living on the remnants of our civilization of our past, and our past civilizations, or our ancestors' civilization. Like, people need to understand that us as humanity, we get to this point of evolution with our species to the point where we start fighting with each other. Like what's happening right now with politics and fighting over and stuff, it's going to get to a point where it's either we're going to grow past this type of growth spurt where we're fighting over politics and policies, or start to learn to work together, that this is our home, this is our planet, and we need to stop fighting with ourselves. Not only just religion, like right now, especially in the United States and around the world, we have a huge issue with religion, like fighting over religious issues. With other ETs, they don't have this issue where they fight over religion. They know what they know and they accept it. And the main focus with a lot of these ET races is social equity, social equality, and social etiquette. And from the most part, and I understand this is coming from my personal experiences, but our civilization is not really going to enter the galactic civilization or the galactic Federation, as it's also known, until we can get rid of religion. Like, we have close to 1,000 different religions on this planet, or different dominations of religion. Like 1,000 different religions on this planet. How do you think that we're going to be able to go out into space if we can't focus on one primary thing to basically unite the entire world?
I feel like for that, if you take a look at the International Space Station, right? Like the United States and Russia don't get along very well, yet they work together just fine in space together, trying to advance and, you know, do the things that they do. I feel like
Only when they're forced in extreme survival mode is when they are forced to work together. That's the same thing that's the thing that we have figured out. Like, for an example, look at COVID and the pandemic. The pandemic expanded across the entire globe. A lot of the galactics thought that the pandemic would last for 5 or 7 years. It ended close to 2.5 years with our effort as a civilization. The entire world came together and we ended it under 5 years, less than 3 years.
So again, does that not mean that we're close, or like as a species we can work together?
Just look at the issues that came about it. Now people are against vaccines. Like, okay, if vaccines are bad, then why are you not going after the government structure that's making it bad instead of debating about whether or not it causes autism? Like, if you know that vaccines are causing autism, why aren't you not pounding the Food and Drug Administration in order to fix it? Why are you just blatantly dwindling about it? Why are you fundamentally not like protesting about it or stuff like that? Or people just dwell on stuff. They don't take the initiative to basically fix it. And it's like, I understand it's because we have jobs and stuff. But the reality is now that we have this huge argument over vaccines. I'm not trying to start any type of narrative or any type of conspiracy theory.
No.
But what it basically boils down to, now we're having a fight over policies about medicine and about vaccines and stuff. So yes, it did show that we can progress as a civilization, but right after the pandemic, we start fighting with each other all over again with policies and stuff and religion. Like, we just go right back to where it was before. We didn't actually progress.
But I almost feel like for that sort of situation, again, it is a very small group of people. Because again, like when it comes to vaccines and like whatever, I honestly, I'm neither here nor there. Like, I don't care if you've gotten it, if you didn't, whatever. That's your own prerogative. And I feel like that is what the majority of everyone feels like.
I understand, but I already outed myself in the Starseed community on my Substack that I did get the COVID vaccine. I have been shunned by so many people in the Starseed community that they don't even want to talk to me because they think that I've been infected with some sort of black goo or that I've been taken over by mind control. So yes, this stuff is still going on. It's just not as widespread. But in more tighter communities, it is very widespread. Like, you're not going to talk about the type of violence that's been going on about women and girls around the planet. Look what's happening in Africa about sexual violence against women and girls, or like the Middle East, where they're suppressing women's rights. This stuff is going on. You can't just ignore that it's just smaller. Like, vast majority of the planet, I hate to admit it, but the vast majority of the planet is totally against women. So it's like, you say that it's just a smaller, but when you really look down to it at the final details, like for an example with AI, men have been using Grok to undress women and girls on X. So yes, it's a very prevalent major issue that's going on. It's happening all around the world. It's not just happening in smaller groups. You have to look at it from a wider lens.
Okay, so when you put a bunch of smaller groups together, yes, it does look like a larger group and everything. Maybe you can answer this question for me and everything. Is there alien human hybrids?
Yes.
Okay. Now, isn't part of the thing that makes us human is just kind of like the nature that we are aggressive and everything, like just like as a human race, like that's just how we are. And then once you take that away from us, we are no longer like actually human. Like, I understand like we have to evolve, yes, but deep down, like that is what makes us us. Like, were Greys ever hostile? Were Greys ever like these, running around beating each other up and everything?
Yes, at one point, but they have learned to grow past that as a race. Like, what is happening right now is that you're starting to realize about emotional intelligence. As a civilization, we have to learn about emotional intelligence and how to articulate it. This is the reason why mental health has become so important over the past recent years. because we haven't been focusing on that as a race, and now we are.
I don't know. I feel like as far as humans, I keep thinking about the movie Predators, where there's a scene in it where it's towards the end of the movie where the guy and the girl are talking, and one of the other characters are hurt, and he's like, they want you to like feel bad for this person that's hurt, so you help them. And she's like, well, aren't you human? Like, don't you have feelings and everything? And he's like, no, like, that's what you got to get past that. But he ends up coming back in the end, and he saves her and everything. Like, so like deep down, like, I just feel like that's just who we are. Like, I don't think once we move past that, we're no longer what we really are. I don't know. That's just how I feel.
Yeah, some of it is our own natural behavior, but it also gets down into the moral conscience of it. But when humans are put into certain situations, they need to know whether or not that they can handle it. Like, for an example, people say that they want visitations and stuff. I've been having a lot of people, like some clients of mine, say like, oh, I want to be visited by ETs. And I was talking to this with another friend of mine. It's like, people ask for this, but when it really boils down to it, they cannot physically and mentally handle it.
I guess, why can't they handle it? Like, what about it?
So when it comes to seeing something foreign or not something that they're used to, it can actually overdrive or overstimulate our entire nervous system. This is the reason why they have to social condition us in order to get to this point, because we never been exposed to it. So it mostly gets down to, yes, some of it is our own behavior, but we haven't really learned to evolve past our consciousness thinking of how to handle situations beyond our control.
Interesting. I mean, I guess I personally, like, I've always wanted to, see or, interact, maybe not interact, but like I've always wanted to, see the lights and the UFOs and everything.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go for it.
If an ET shows up in its true form in the middle of New York Times Square,
yeah,
how do you think the general public of New York would react to that?
Honestly, I think they would just point and pull out their phones and start recording. I think they would just kind of surround it and maybe be at a little bit of a disbelief.
They would run away, or do you think that they would try to attack it?
I don't think they would try attacking it. I don't think they would run away either. I think that the majority of people would kind of be like awestruck.
Okay, so let's change this question.
Okay.
Let's say that you have a 9 to 12 foot tall ET that shows up in New York Times Square in its true form. How do you think people would react to that?
I think it depends on the situation in which, what is the ET doing? Is the ET just standing there? Is it moving around? Is it jumping? Is it like...
It's just standing there and observing human life.
I feel like it would be the same thing. Maybe a little bit more people would be a little bit more standoffish and kind of keep their distance. But I do think that people would be mesmerized and want to just stay there. I don't think they would run.
So let me change the question.
Okay.
Let's say a 12-foot tall ET race ends up showing itself in Africa in a developing civilization, or people still, like living in mud huts and stuff. How do you think that they would react to that?
I don't know. Honestly, I could see being one of two things. Perfect example, and what I'm thinking about is, I think during World War II it was, where a bomber flew over a tribe that had never seen an airplane before, and that tribe made a model of it and like worshipped it. And then like, years and years later, a group of people found this tribe and they're like, what is that? And they're like, this is what we worship. Like, we saw this in the sky.
Yeah, exactly. Like what I was talking about. You have the advanced side of humanity, and then you have a developing side of humanity. The thing that I'm trying to make a point here is that they don't want to come here, cause panic and frustration, but they don't want to create a religion. What you just described to me is exactly what ETs have been coming and talking to me about.
But I think it again depends on who and how they come here.
Do you think from the research or from people in the UFO community, do you believe that they see UFOs as a threat, or do they see UFOs or ET races here to become our saviors?
I think for that one, I don't think it would be either one. Here's the reason why, is that if they were here as a threat, I don't think they would make their presence known. And I think we could put that together. I feel like it's almost like the movie Signs, where, okay, just a few of them hanging around. As soon as they're ready, they're going to make themselves known, and they're not going to try to communicate. They're not going to try to do anything. They're just going to, do whatever they want to do. And it's pointless to try to make contact, because if they're hostile, they're hostile.
Everything that you know about alien invasion on this planet is completely wrong.
How so?
They can wipe out our entire civilization in under 5 minutes.
How?
I would rather not talk about it because I'm not here to promote fear. But
okay, well, that's fine.
From what they have told me, they can wipe out our entire civilization in under 5 minutes if they wanted to.
Oh, that's interesting.
So this entire concept of them trying to come and take over us is completely pointless, because they could have done it several thousand years ago, but they haven't.
So, all right, I guess the big question is, what is the point of it all then? Us as a species, like, do they know, like, I guess the meaning, the big question is, like, the meaning of life. Like, what are we all here for? What is the universe for?
This is probably going to take a lot longer to explain in 1 hour, but I'm writing a book about this, was just my second book of my book that I published, which is going to be over galactic philosophy. But I will explain it much more greater detail in my book, but explaining it in a 1 hour interview is going to be completely hard.
No, I'm sure. It's crazy because I just feel like, what is the end goal? We're trying to evolve, and we're trying to, advance, get a part of, like, this galactic community and everything. Then what? Are we a part of it? And then are we watching other civilizations on other worlds develop too, and we're part of that, like, we say when they're ready? And then I guess who would be our representative? Like, who gets to be the person or the people, or do we all as a species get to decide, like, yep, they're ready? And, like, how does that work? Well,
one of the ways that they told me is no more crime.
Okay.
Meaning, like, murdering each other. For a lot of the ET races that I have been in contact, they don't have crime whatsoever. So if we can get to that point of state where we have no more crime, what I mean by crime, I mean, like, taking advantage of people, murder, like, all the other petty crime. They even see homelessness as a crime. So if we can help the homeless or help people in our entire civilization, a lot of these ET races don't have homelessness. There's a lot of social and economic issues that we have to sort out with our own race before we can become a galactic citizen. Like, they don't want us to be reliant or dependent on us, because we're not a slave race. We need to learn to work together and solve our own issues, and not be reliant on other ETs to solve them for us.
So, okay. So again, like, why is it that these are the rules? Like, why is it that, like, we can't be a part of this? Why does it have to be crime free? Like, why can we not just be?
Well, it's not just crime free, but they also want us to, like, figure out how to fix our own society. I was only giving that as an example, but I was like,
yeah.
For an example, why do we have to, like, pay money to live? Why can't we just live in our own existence without paying money or taxes? What is that for? It gets to this point where they see us, but when it really boils down to it is that, okay, so we get the chance to travel. Are we going to respect other planets, developing civilization? Or are we going to go in and conquer and try to be like gods to them and try to advance their civilization? That's the thing that they're talking about. It's like, okay, we get the chance, but are you going to respect other developing races just like you out in space that have not gotten to that point?
Let me ask you this. do you not think that the only way to achieve, no more crime, no nothing, and we are all working together, is to completely wipe out everybody except for a certain group? Now I'm not promoting extermination or anything like that, but what I'm getting at is that because, and you even acknowledged yourself, that there's so many different religions and there's so many, whatever, is the only way to get past this. Because I personally do not think that we will be like, I don't think there's ever going to become a point in time where we're all going to put down everybody's, books and, our guns and whatever, and be like, you know what, let's all come together. I don't see that happening. The only way I see us advancing to that point is that a certain group of people, whoever it is, exterminates everybody else, and then their one way of thinking and their one way of life is the only one on Earth.
That's exactly what I'm talking about, that they don't want to happen. You understand that you basically answered your own question.
Maybe, but I guess I was like, do you not feel that way, or do you not see it like that? Do you feel like there's a different way to go about this?
Oh yeah, I see there's a fundamental different way. Like, if we got rid of religion or saw the flaws in religion, our entire society would be a lot better. Like, no more money going to churches, and all that money that's going to churches could go to community centers and funding daycare centers. People don't realize how much influence religion has, and it's like, the only reason why we continue with religion is because we still rely on it. No one wants to pay attention to science. Like, people don't want to pay attention that there's something fundamentally going on with our planet scientifically, like with global warming and what's happening in our oceans. Like, we're having whales beach themselves constantly. Like, the coral reefs are dying. Like, we're not taking care of our planet. When are we going to evolve to the point where we can live peaceably without harming our planet?
Okay, so I do have a question. And again, I'm not trying to turn this into like a debate or anything, but you're saying that money shouldn't go to the churches, or some churches. I know of certain churches within my community that actually do try to help the homelessness. And that was, again, one of the issues that you said were like, hey, that's part of crime, that we don't help them. But I guess what happens when...
Yes. Like, for an example, if you dive down deeper, it's like you're doing it through religion. You're being like, okay, if we help them, then they will come back to our church and follow religion. And it's like, it gets into like, why are you following a book that's 2,000 years old? That's the question.
I guess I was brought up through the church, Christianity and everything like that. And what I do know is that
you have to like understand it this way. I'm trying to give an examples.
Yeah.
But I'm not trying to like debate or anything, but I'm trying to like give an examples. Like, why are you listening to a book that's 2,000 years old still?
And I guess that, the reason why is because I've had conversations like this too with other people, and it comes down to the faith aspect of it. Like, it's about faith, and it's about believing in something. You were saying that like people are trying to reach out to these ETs. Why? How do they even know that they're real? They have some sort of faith in what you're saying is true. I think that goes to the religious aspect of it too. It's that faith that they believe in something. But that was neither here nor there. I guess my thing that I was saying was that I feel like there are some communities and there are some religions that help the homelessness, or like help other groups that do not attach the religion aspect to it. Yes, they are a church, but I feel like it's, hey, we're not trying to bribe you to come back.
Yeah, but the thing about it is that, yes, I understand that they don't do it under, but if you don't fit into their cliques or don't agree with some of their policies, they're basically going to kick you out. It's with every tight-knit community.
Are you saying that's how it works for like religion as well?
Yeah, like for an example, why do you think so many women are really leaving religion?
I guess I was not aware of like that was a thing.
If you look at the statistical report, religion of men going to churches have risen, and women are leaving religion or Christian religion in droves. Or Christianity has become so polarized. Like, for an example, From my fundamental understanding of how religion, it was supposed to be Father, Mother, and Child. It was not supposed to be Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Like, why did you take out the female aspect? Like, people are talking about the banned books. Why were those books banned? Well, because of political spectrum and stuff. Like, you have to understand how religion works. It was all a political scheme, especially with a lot of different other religions, is all political. They turn religion into a political thing.
I guess how would that work for, I guess, then Buddhism?
Well, for an example, Buddhists or a lot of Buddhists never get married or never start a family.
I guess how is that? Is that bad then, or is that?
Well, if everybody became Buddhists or Buddhist monks, I guess from my understanding, I'm sorry if I get this wrong, but a lot of Buddhist monks are not allowed to have romantic or sexual relationships. So if the entire population became Buddhist monks, our entire population would crash.
That's actually a good question. I don't know if that. It sounds accurate. I don't know though. I guess I don't know enough about.
Isn't one of the philosophies of Buddhists is that you're allowed to leave everything behind and become a Buddhist monk? So in a sense that we hear the story of Buddha, where you have a lot of these men who had families and just basically ended up just giving up on their life and just becoming a Buddhist monk. Now, I'm not trying to bash it, but why are you pushing Buddhism, and especially with every other religion, like why are you pushing it on children? Why are you pushing religion on children? Shouldn't they be introduced to religion once they reach a teenage or adulthood instead of pushing it on them at a young age?
I guess the way that it was taught to me, and I'm thankful for my upbringing in the church because it gave me, for me, this is how I feel now. I'm not saying it's for everyone else.
I just want to apologize if anybody who is one, I'm sorry if I'm not that coherent or that educated, so I do want to apologize for that, but I just want to let people know who are listening to that.
Oh, yeah. No, that's fine. I just feel like for me, it gave me a foundation of what is right and what is wrong and like how to treat people. From what I remember, that's what growing up in religion and everything like that, I feel like that's what it taught me, was just how to be a decent human being to one another. Again, as a kid, I never...
Okay, yeah, that's understanding.
Because I feel like for me, I never brought in, oh, I need to be good to this person to get into heaven. I never thought like that. To me, I felt like just be nice to other people, and hey, it is wrong to steal from other people, and I never associated like the 10 Commandments.
Okay, so it also gets into the fundamental question of, for an example, relationships. Do you think that a man is more superior than a woman?
Hell no.
Are they equal, or do you think a woman is more superior than a man?
I think that when it comes to relationships and how that dynamic works, is every relationship is unique. There are some women that want a dominant man, and I think there are some men that want a dominant woman, and then there are some that want an equal playing field and see that the relationship is equal. Take, for instance, I could be wrong and I could be making assumptions, but I feel like when you go down south, there is that, hey, the woman likes to stay at home, cook, and the man goes out, collects the money. And I feel like that is a very Southern tradition type of relationship kind of dynamic. Whereas you go to a different part of the United States, that may not be the same case. I feel like it is a team effort, and there is not one person who is above the other.
Okay, so then why are you having a lot of Christian dominations supporting the fact that men should be superior over women?
I feel...
And why do you believe that certain dominations of Christianity are promoting polygamy and stuff like that?
I think the best way that it was described to me was that men are typically looked at as the head of the household. Now, I'm not saying that's what it is, but that kind of follows when it comes into religion as well, where it's like, okay, the man is the head of the household when it comes to religion and kind of teaches or shows the way for everyone else in the family, is like that leader aspect. I feel like that's how it was explained to me. I don't know if that's true.
So yeah, like I get your standpoint and I get mine, but there's a lot of stuff to talk about or a lot of stuff to get into, but it's like these are some of the critical thinking stuff that a lot of ETs have about our civilization and how things would work out. Our entire culture has changed in the past 100 years, so just imagine how much our culture will change once we get into space.
That is very true. Okay, so let me ask you this too. With the development of AI, how does AI...
My other question is, if we believe in these type of religions and we end up going out into space, are we going to take these religious viewpoints in space with us? But what would happen if an ET race came to humanity and said, we're sorry, but we have to tell you the truth that we accidentally created your religion and everything that you know about your religion is wrong? How do you think people would react to that?
I've asked people this before too. The answer that I've gotten back is that, okay, you can say that, but I have faith that that's not how it went.
Like, for an example, you have to understand that these ET races are thousands and thousands of years old. So they have recordings. So like imagine that they have a recording of Jesus' crucifixion or Jesus's life, and they show people his actual, what he was actually talking about, and show it to the general public for the first time and tell them that everything that you know about your religion is wrong. How do you think people would react to that?
I think you'd have a mixed. I think you'd have people that would see that and be very disappointed, and I feel like may lose their faith and maybe step away.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, you have a lot of these interspecies or ET races that are thousands of years that have recorded our own history, and they can actually show it to us on a galactic stage and tell us what we got wrong and what we didn't. They can actually disprove a lot of our religion.
So I guess my question to you is, why do they not do that then?
Because they fundamentally know that it's not only just losing faith, but people wouldn't mentally handle it. They would become very sporadic.
But I guess why do they care then? Like, why would they care? If they know the truth, then why not tell us the truth?
Because it gets into galactic politics. They're not allowed to interfere. And religion has been shown to be in the political spectrum, so they can't interfere when it comes to religion.
Interesting. But again, I do feel like there would be a handful of people that their faith would grow stronger.
Are you, like, you're literally having an entire ET show you that everything that you know about your religion is wrong, like with actual video footage and actual, like, true scripture that they have saved, and tell you that is actually wrong. You really think that people are going to be more faithful?
I do.
With it, like, they're debunking every single fundamental teaching.
Who's to say that those aliens are not lying?
What if they're not? You have to understand, like, why would an ET race fucking lie to us? Like they have not been interfering. They haven't been
That is a great question.
Like, some people believe that they're messing around with us. Like, yeah, I get it. But it mostly comes down to you as a person. Like, you need to set your boundaries. You need to use discernment. But I don't believe, and maybe, yes, I might be naive, but it's like, from what I've been understanding, like, why would they lie? Like, they're showing it to you live. They wouldn't lie to you about something like that.
But what if it was a reptilian that was showing you? Did you not say that reptilians were evil?
I said that some people do. Not everybody, but no, I don't believe all of them are evil. But yes, yes, I would be using discernment. But on the other hand, you have to understand, like, why are you showing this to me? And they will explain and everything. But I do believe that, yes. But I do also believe that there are safety protocols put into place as well to present this. I do also know that we have other ET races that watch over us and protect us as well. It's the same thing. But this is the type of stuff that we get into galactic politics about. It's like, are they lying to us or not? But when it really comes down to when we set our boundaries and policies as a race, other races won't do that towards us. Because we are now have evolved to the point where we're starting to create laws, not just benefit a small sector of people, but it's also building up to protect our civilization and race and our planet.
Okay, that's really interesting. Well, Audrey, I do think that we have run out of time. I know we were having a great conversation and everything, but I think we covered a lot of things. I think there's a lot of things that we actually did not get to cover, which I'm kind of disappointed about, but I would love to have you back on so we could have another conversation if you're willing to.
Oh yeah, I'd love to. I kind of like these debates. I like these critical thinking questions and trying to explain it to people the best way that I can.
Yeah.
Trying to hopefully write my second book, which encompass a lot of your questions of stuff like that. So yeah, my second book, of which I'm trying to write, will be over galactic philosophy.
Awesome. Well, as soon as your book does come out, please let us know, and we'll put it on our social medias too. Before we officially sign off and everything, is there anything that you want to say to our audience members? Anything like that?
I just want people to know that I'm just trying to give examples. I wasn't trying to offend people with religion or anything like that. I was just trying to give examples and explain it in a way. Like, some people, like, these type of questions and type of discussions can get under people's skin and stuff. And this is also the type of stuff that they're also worrying about, like, and stuff. So this is a really good conversation. I understand that this can get under people's skin sometimes about this type of discussion, but this is this type of stuff that I like to talk about and discuss with people.
Yeah.
And on my channel and stuff. But I really hope that people can really think about this and think about the bigger scope. One of the questions is that if you don't like the life that you're living right now, and you know that you are, being taken advantage of, or you feel like something is controlling you, why do you think that way? And what are some of the solutions that you can come up with in order to fix it instead of dwelling on it? One of the main issues that I've seen in a lot of these communities, especially the conspiracy communities, is that they dwell on it, but they don't find solutions in order to fix it. So I hope with that last message, I hope that people will get to the point where we can start coming up with solutions in order to make things better and help humanity.
Audrey, I really hope so as well, because I think we do as a group, as a whole, we do have a lot of issues that we need to get a handle on and everything. But you, as the audience member, if you liked what you heard and you want more of what Audrey has to offer, again, she's written her first book of the space school lessons, and she has her YouTube channel, Starseed Netlink. We will add that in the description so you can go check those out. And just remember the old saying that we have here: we don't want stuff that's normal, we want stuff that's effing weird.